Tell us about I suppose, the challenges for pollsters here, because when you've got low primary votes for the major parties, lots of independent players and minor parties, and it's all about where those preferences go, and that can change presumably from election to election. How accurate are our pollsters at measuring those preference flows, and therefore how much store can we place in the polling at the moment?
But I think you can be reasonably confident about the big figures, close to the 50% mark. When it gets down to smaller figures, then you can be less confident. And the difficulty that all pollsters now have is non-sampling error, and that is trying to get a sample which matches the population. There's been a diminishing number of voters who are voting. The informal vote has been rising. There's clear signs of disaffection with the major parties. It's been going on for some time. So there's a lot of people, Chris, who simply don't give a damn about the election, and they wouldn't even vote if they didn't have to, and even if they have to, they're still not voting. So the difficulty for pollsters is to try to get an accurate feeling for how they are going to vote. And as you said, more importantly, if they're not going to vote for one of the major parties, and these voters are disproportionately going to vote for the others, that is basically anybody but the two major parties, then to try and disentangle how they're going to vote number 2, 3 or 4 is even more difficult. The thing that I've been trying to focus on is this drift of preferences, because I can sense how important it's going to be at this election, and I can sense how difficult it is to predict. And what I've picked up is a trend amongst the electorates where there's been a larger number of very low income workers in digitally disrupted jobs, living partly on welfare, often with subsidised rentals and that sort of thing. They became, disaffected with Labor during Labor's intervention, or after Labor's intervention in the affairs of the CFMEU. The Gaza conflict also motivated a lot of non-English speaking migrants to become disaffected from Labor. So the question was then who they're going to vote for, number 2, 3 or 4. Similarly, the Teals were on the nose, as are the Greens. So those disaffected voters were up for grabs as well, but going to the coalition. And what I'm interested in looking at is how they're drifting back to Labor, which seems to have been happening. So they're the clear target groups for both major parties over the next 10 or 11 days.
Fascinating stuff, because I don't think I can remember an election where the public have been less engaged in it, yet voting starts tomorrow, so it's all happening. Things could change, I suppose, in the last 2 weeks. We will see. Great to get your analysis, John. I appreciate it.